Hello and welcome to my bike and gear check for the Transcontinental number 11. My name is David. I was wearing cap number 6 in the race and I placed 3rd. And yeah, so obviously I'm recording this after the race, which you can probably also tell looking at the bike and how dirty it is right now. I literally just took it out of the box since I got home from the race and put it back together, and I thought I'll do a quick little bike and gear check before I disassemble the bike completely and start cleaning it. Because it really needs some cleaning, and the bearings probably need some love. But I thought it might be worth it to just go over it really quick and take a closer look at it, because I didn't really do a video or anything before the race, because I never really have much time before the race because I procrastinate a lot of things and then I'm always kind of late. I'll try to keep it short and simple. Because I'm sitting out here on the balcony and it's 33 degrees Celsius, so it's quite hot, and I don't want to bore you, try to keep it short and simple. Let's start with the bike itself. So this is the second time I rode this bike for the Transcontinental race, so I used it last year as well. And generally speaking, it's pretty much the same as last year. It worked out pretty well. It's a gravel bike. It's a Canyon Grail CF7, so it's kind of the base model of the Grail. I did do some upgrades to it though. Changed out the seat post for a stiffer one because I didn't want the flexible one that came with it. Swapped out the handlebars, so they're a little more narrow, and there's a longer stem. And then also one of the handlebars with the gear groove, so I could attach aero bars to it. Most recently I also swapped out the crank, so I have a bit of a bigger chain ring on there. It's a little lighter than the crank it came with. And I now also have a power meter, which worked for the first day of the race, and then it crapped out. So I haven't really taken a look at it yet, but I guess the battery is empty. Brought a spare battery, but the battery didn't work. So I hope it's not broken. I hope it's just a battery, but we'll see. Then the wheels are like, they're not gravel wheels, they're not road wheels. They're from Swiss side and they call them all road wheels. So they're pretty sturdy. They're a little wider, and I'm really happy with them. They come with DT Swiss hubs. Used them for 3 or 4 ultra races now, haven't had any issues. Really good solid wheels. And then I got a GP 5000 Continental tires on there. In the back I put on a all-season one, 35 millimeter tubeless, and in the front I put on a 32 millimeter regular GP 5000, also tubeless of course. And I didn't really have any tire issues at all. I made it through the race without having a flat, which is like pretty amazing considering I rode 4,700 something kilometers with them and over some pretty rough stuff. I did put in 2 plugs in the front after I took a gravel shortcut between Parkour 5 and Checkpoint 5. That was some pretty rough stuff there, and I went somewhat fast on there. So yeah, I got 2 little cuts, one on the side and one on top of the tire. It might have sealed without plugs, I don't know, but I wasn't really messing around, and just, yeah, I didn't want to lose all the sealant and see if it seals or not, so I just put in 2 plugs, and after that was fine until the end. No issues there. And yeah, as I already mentioned, everything's pretty dirty. It looked pretty fine for most of the race, but then at the end, like 30 kilometers before the finish line, they sent us through this, like, on this gravel path along the river, and there were some knee-deep puddles or almost ponds that you had to walk through with like frogs jumping away left and right. So yeah, it mostly looks as dirty just because of like the last hour of the race. Yeah. What else about the bike? So I changed my cockpit a little bit, put on some different aero bars, and that was mainly possible because of the gear groove aero bar adapter that is made by Adventure Hydration, which allows you to pretty much put on whatever aero bars you want. Otherwise, you're kind of stuck with just using Canyon's aero extensions, which are somewhat pricey, not available in all countries, and yeah, you can't really adjust the angle with the aero extensions by Canyon. So yeah, with the gear groove aero bar adapter by Adventure Hydration, you can just put on whatever aero bars you want pretty much, and then you can also adjust the angle. So yeah, I had a really comfortable setup there with my aero bars. I could be in my aero bars pretty much all day long, and at the end, like, my aero position was pretty much my most comfortable position, like after 11 days of racing, which says a lot. So yeah, I'm really glad I worked a bit on the cockpit there, and I thought about putting a bag on there as well, but I wanted to keep it as clean as possible, not put a lot of stuff on there. Yeah, so what else do we have on the cockpit there? The mandatory bell. As a head unit, I used a Dura or a Coros Dura, which worked really well. Yeah, it's a good option. It doesn't cost that much compared to other brands out there, and then it has a really solid solar panel on top. And I mean, you do a lot of night riding, so it doesn't really charge during the night, obviously, because there's no sun. But yeah, I think I charged it maybe 3 or 4 times during the race, which is really not that much compared to the Wahoo Bolt I used before, which I had to charge like 1 or 2 times a day to like keep it running. So it was nice having a head unit that was just running, and I didn't really have to worry too much about it. And then also I recorded the whole race in one file, and yeah, the head unit absolutely had no issue with that either. Like, I would pause it and say like, if I go to sleep, I would say like continue later, and then it would load up right away again the next day. Like, if I did that with my Wahoo, it sometimes would like load for 10 minutes until I could continue again. So yeah, I was really happy with my Coros Dura. Then I had 2 lights on there. Currently I just have 1 light on there. Yeah, forgot to put on the other light for the video. But yeah, just 2 pretty simple battery power lights. 1 for backup, 1 main light. One's a little better than the other. But yeah, I didn't have a hub dynamo. So I was running battery power lights and would charge them with a power bank. Would I wish to have a hub dynamo and a dynamo light? Yeah. I I'd love to have a hub dynamo and a dynamo light, but that's also kind of a question of how you want to allocate your resources. You know, a hub dynamo isn't cheap. You have to build a new wheel. You know, there's issues with dynamos as well, so it worked out with a battery power light. It's just something else you have to think about to keep it charged, that you don't really have to think about if you have a dynamo light. It just works, as long as the dynamo works. But yeah, it was fine. I had a 20,000 milliampere power bank with me that I would use to charge the light, and it would usually, the power bank would last for like 2 days, so every second day I would go to the hotel anyway and sleep there. So 20,000 milliampere power bank was enough for that. Yeah, so let's talk about what I got in my saddlebag here. I pretty much use my saddlebag for my spare clothes, and on top right here I always had wet wipes and toilet paper in case, you know, you have to jump behind a bush and use the toilet. So you want to have your wet wipes and toilet paper handy. Then also always ready to go, I had my reflective vest for the night, so cars would see you better, which is really important because, you know, you're right in traffic. You want to be visible and safe. And then I got my pillow, which is pretty much my whole sleeping system. If I would sleep on the side of the road somewhere, I would just use my pillow, so it would be somewhat comfortable when I sleep, and then I would just use my rain jacket as a blanket, pretty much. I've done it this way this year and last year during the Transcontinental, and it worked out fine, but I might bring a sleeping bag next time, like a lightweight sleeping bag, because there were times where I was like, I kind of want to sleep right now, but it's kind of cold. So yeah, it just gives you a lot more comfort having a sleeping bag, and probably also sleep better if you can crawl into a sleeping bag. I mean, it takes up, I mean, it's not that heavy. The main thing is it like takes up more volume, so probably have to bring a bigger saddlebag, but yeah, it might be worth it. I'm on the fence. I probably will bring a sleeping bag next time. Then I got my rain jacket in here, or also windbreaker. It's kind of the first thing I'll put on when I get cold. I was wearing it a lot, even if it wasn't raining, just as a warm layer. It also has a hood, so yeah, I ride a lot with the jacket and the hood up, just so it keeps my head warm. You're so much warmer if you prevent the heat to go or to escape through your head. So the hood like just keeps you like nice and cozy. Yeah, use this jacket a bunch of times now. Love it very much. Gore-Tex or Gore-Wear. Then I got my down vest, which I would try to wear only when I get really cold, because I don't really want to sweat in it a bunch and then it gets wet, and yeah, like I kind of want to keep it for emergencies or when I'm really, really cold. Yeah, but it's kind of a compromise between bringing a whole down jacket and a down vest. The down vest is a little smaller and lighter. It keeps your core warm. For this race it was fine. If I would do an off-road race, I'd probably rather bring a whole down jacket to get that extra bit of warmth. But yeah, for this, a down vest worked just fine for me. And yeah, that's kind of it for the layers, pretty much. Then I have my electronics in here, my charger. So got a fast charger in here, so I'm pretty much able to charge my 20,000 milliampere hour power bank in like 3 hours, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, you stop at a hotel for a 3 hour sleep, and when you wake up, your power bank is fully charged. And yeah, in an emergency, you can also stop, I don't know, at a restaurant for half an hour if you really need to, and plug it in and get a good charge in a short amount of time. Got a bunch of cables here, so yeah, when I get to the hotel, I could just plug in stuff. And then I also got a 5,000 milliampere hour power bank, which I didn't use at all, but I kind of wanted to have like a backup or a spare that I kind of put out of sight. So, you know, it was really just meant for backup. So if for some reason I would really go through my 20,000 milliampere hour power bank and completely run out of juice, I could be like, all right, I still have a little bit of charge, but this is really just for emergencies. I could still charge my light for a little bit if I need to. I could still charge my phone a little bit if I need to. So yeah, it was just nice to have like a small power bank to get me out of a stupid situation if I really need to, and have that peace of mind that, yeah, I'm not completely screwed yet if my 20,000 milliampere power bank runs out of juice. So could go in my saddlebag and get my small one. And I mean, you have to like kind of think about how you're going to use it, because it's not a lot, but it gets you out of a situation that you don't want to be in. Yeah, so yeah, electronics. And then I got long gloves in here, which I didn't use a single time during the race, but obviously important to bring. And then I just got some little stuff in here. I got some water purification pills in case I would have to get some sketchy water somewhere. I could just throw in some of those purification tablets and then still drink the water. But yeah, didn't need those at all. Then I got my spare contacts and a little case and contact solution in case I need to take out my contacts and clean them during the race. Yeah, this is pretty much also just kind of for emergencies and backup. Didn't need it at all either. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for the saddlebag. In the frame bag, we got, take it out really quick. In the frame bag, we pretty much got a repair stuff that I don't need to access all the time. So I got 2 spare tubes in here in case my tubeless system would have failed, which it didn't, so I didn't need the tubes at all. And I first wanted to bring TPU tubes, but then just brought regular tubes because regular tubes are much easier to fix. Yeah, and even if you can't fix them yourself, I don't know, you could even go to like a car shop and they could probably like patch them up on like TPU tubes, which require specific patches, and yeah, you can't just go anywhere to get them fixed. So yeah, they're heavier and take up more space, but I feel like you're on the safer side with regular tubes. But yeah, luckily I didn't need them. Pretty amazing. And then I got repair stuff that I don't need to access all the time, which includes spare brake pads, which I didn't need, a little case of different screws that would work for like a bunch of different things. Also got a quick links in here for the chain and stuff like that. Got some spare lube in here. Got another one in the top tube bag. Actually went through a whole one because it was raining so much. So yeah, I had to apply lube or like wax a number of times because the chain started to get really squeaky after a few days. Got a spare derailleur hanger in here. I got a spare tubeless valve in here. I got some extra sealant in here, which also didn't need. I got a spare shifter cable in here after I snapped one last year, which was kind of my own fault because I didn't swap it out before the race. So this time I swapped out all the cables, housing and cable, and yeah, obviously that way didn't have any issues, but yeah, I wanted to be on the safe side this time and bring a cable. Then I got some tire boots in here, and a spare shower cap for my seat. I have another shower cap in the top tube bag that I can easily access, but if I lose it for some reason, I have another one in here because yeah, you can't ride too long with the broke saddle in the rain, otherwise you're gonna completely wreck it. So yeah, in the rain you gotta cover it, and it's good to have a spare shower cap. Weighs nothing, takes up a bit of space, but yeah, nothing too bad. So yeah, this is all stuff that I didn't expect to really need. So yeah, I just tucked it away in the frame bag with the tubes. And yeah, that kind of takes up maybe a third of the frame bag, and then the rest of the frame bag was completely empty, so I could use it for food and stuff. Yeah, and actually was able to create a little more space in there than previously because I went with a long top tube bag. So I jumped on that trend. Also went with a long top tube bag for the first time. And I mean, it's awesome. Yeah, so much better than a short top tube bag. Yeah, you can just fit like so many more things in there that you need to access all the time. So yeah, I really love that thing. So yeah, let's take a quick look what's in there. I already mentioned a few things that are in there. But yeah, so we got on the very top, always handy, we got a toothpaste and toothbrush. Yeah, with the amount of sugar you eat, you really want to brush your teeth. And yeah, if it's not easily available, you're not going to brush your teeth very much. So yeah, I really wanted to have it right there to remind me that I need to brush my teeth. Sunscreen here also right on top, so it's always available. Then I got tire plugs. I got my lube or wax right here, so I could easily take it out and just put it on the chain when I need to. Got a little Swiss Army knife with scissors. Yeah, nice tool to have. I don't think I really needed it during the race, but yeah, sometimes you need like scissors or a little knife really quick. As already mentioned, here's my shower cap to cover the seat when I need it or when it was raining. Then we got some caffeine pills in here. Had some of them. In Italy, you really didn't need caffeine pills because you could just get espressos all over the place, and they were probably more effective than caffeine pills, also more delicious. Then I got some salt tablets. Didn't have a single one of them, so yeah. Could have left them at home. And then I got some adapters here to turn a USB-C cable into a USB micro cable, or the other way around. And then I also got a valve adapter, so I could just screw it on there and go to a gas station and inflate my tires if I needed to. So also something you want to have easily accessible. And then yeah, we got that big power bank in here that I could charge with my fast charger before I had it down here when I didn't have the long top tube bag. So yeah, by bringing it up here, creates a lot more space down here that I could just use for food or other things to store in there, which is great. And then I had my cables coming out of the top tube bag, USB-C, USB micro, and another USB-C. One's a fast charger, one's just a regular USB-C because some devices don't charge with fast charger. And yeah, so yeah, had those coming out right out of my top tube bag and could just charge my computer, charge my lights, etc. Then we got my CO2 inflator in here. So I had two CO2 cartridges, one up here, one down there. Didn't need them, but good to have if you have a problem, if your tubeless setup. And I got my regular pump in here. Yeah, it's a pretty neat and small and lightweight pump by Profile Design. Lets you switch between high pressure and high volume. Seems a little finicky, but it worked out just fine. Used it a few times after putting the plugs in the front there. Then I got my multi-tool in here with a chain breaker, and then I got my patches in here, didn't need them at all. And got my tire levers. And yeah, that's it for my top tube bag. There we go. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much everything I had in my bags. And for hydration, I went again with my Crank Tank 4, which fits 4 liters of water. I didn't carry 4 liters all the time, but yeah, you just fill it as much as you need. But it's nice to have the option to fill it or to carry up to 4 liters of water without having to mount bottles all over the place that like affect your bike handling. So yeah, allows you to store a lot of water in a small space and keeping the point of gravity pretty low. So yeah, doesn't really affect your bike handling. Worked out well again. And then you just run the tube up to the handlebars here, and yeah, you can pretty much drink without taking your hands off the handlebar. I put another clip here, so I could even like put the tube here, and when I'm in my aero bars, have it right on my face. Don't even need to get out of the aero bars to drink. Yeah, love that thing. And what else? So I had a 3D printer mount here. You kind of see how it extends the aero bars up here. So yeah, I had a 3D printer mount that was supposed to hold my 360-degree camera and my phone, and it broke off after 1 hour into the race. So there's that. After that, I was just carrying the camera in my jersey the whole time without really using it, so that kind of sucked. And I wasn't able to mount the phone on my handlebars, which wasn't great. But you know, maybe it wasn't bad, because then I wasn't looking at the phone all the time, and I had it like put away in the side of my bibs in the side pocket. Yeah, maybe it wasn't bad. Sometimes it would have been nice to mount the phone on there and do stuff and not having to ride like with one hand and hold the phone. But at least the extensions didn't break off, because yeah, they kind of helped with the position, and I was holding onto them quite frequently because the aero bars themselves are kind of short on top. So yeah, it was nice to have that. Yeah, what else could I say about the bike? Yeah, maybe the components. Got a GRX on there. Yeah, I don't know. If you have any other questions, something I didn't mention, just feel free to ask in the comments. Otherwise, I think I kind of went over the whole thing. So yeah, I said I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I hope that felt short and sweet. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any more questions about my setup, yeah, feel free to ask. Thank you for watching.